maybe when we talk about a very, very diverse and heterogeneous society like India, where class, caste, regional distinctions are just so many, this is not going to happen everywhere in this sort of way, because
Yeah, it
access
would.
is an issue and all of those things are an issue. But yeah, totally with I agree that a large chunk of young people are getting like slightly misled by the whole thing, and therefore there is a change, there's a massive attitudinal shift.
Hmm.
Also, not being able to engage in things for a longer time, because the whole
In
scenario,
depth.
uh, I mean, and I think also one word that I keep hearing from a lot of younger people, in quotes, is intense, right?
Hmm.
So anything that you kind of think has makes you engage in something, the first reaction
Hmm.
is, oh, this is very intense, this is very intense. And the usage of this word in my immediate environment over the last couple of years has increased exponentially. Like you
Hmm.
said, so why are you dealing with this? What happened? It's very intense. I had to sit down for this process. There was exams. I was going through this, very intense. So one understands, and I was listening to one of these podcasts, these amazing conversations. I'll not name the podcast, but I was
Uh-huh.
listening to this amazing podcast, and this person is speaking to this sociologist, and they're talking to each other about how young people have changed, and he says that a friend of mine was mentioning that she was eavesdropping on her son's conversation with his girlfriend on
Hmm.
phone, and she was shocked because after 15 or 20 minutes she thought that actually they were offering some sort of therapy to each other, because they were only talking about anxiety and panic and issues of that kind, which is not like a romantic conversation, but uh, this is something that's kind of also become the way, because you have no other engagement. So the deepest
Yes.
engagement that you're trying to have is this whole idea of the self being everything. And therefore, when you also talk to someone else, you talk about the self, and they talk about the self, and you think therefore that is the deepest connection you can have with someone. So I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a very complex sort of
Yes, it is.
a web, right, where you cannot have, and that will impact the way you look at anything outside of you, whether that is education, whether that's a job, and whether it is a relationship, or even your relationship with your own families or communities, because everything will seem so intense and overwhelming that you could kind of find it difficult to negotiate with. And I think there is going to be a challenge, and I don't know how will they shape up as leaders.